Let's go. Plus his kids, his sons are cool. I love his kids, man. I love that. All right, so I got to ask you, growing up, who were some of your favorite baseball players?
I'm going to tell you right now, it's good. I grew up in Los Angeles, Dodgers, Pedro Guerrero. He gave me a wristband when I was in high school. I came over there, and the impact that big league ball players can make on kids, he gave me a wristband. I wore that thing my whole high school career. Now, it came all the way up because I was just a little skinny dude, and Pedro Guerrero, I used to come watch him play. Growing up, man, Barry Bonds, there was not a bigger gangster in the league. Watching him play this game, coming up with them cream whites, with them Filas, what? Cream color homes, come up with little Dr. Dre, got the butter G, what? And yeah, he was just, it's hard. When you watched him, you stopped.
Wow. Oh, you stumped me on that one. Okay, so I got to ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot. You got a little Red Sox history with you, obviously. So, on the spot, if you did a Red Sox Mount Rushmore, who was the four you put on the Red Sox Mount Rushmore?
Yep, let's go. Big Papi. Let's start with Big Papi.
It's one.
OG gangster. I know. Ted Williams, you got to have Ted.
Okay.
Everybody hit 400. That doesn't make sense. I wish I could have saw it because there's a seat at Fenway that they say he hit, and I don't think he hit it because I've seen Papi and big boys not even close to that, but that's another story. How many do I got? 4?
You got 4, so you got 2 more. We got Ted and Papi so far.
It's hard because I showered with these dudes. Pedro and Manny and Papi. How could I not have them on there? Manny, there wasn't a bigger 2-out RBI guy in the history of this game. Sweetest right-hand swing, in my opinion. And then Pedro, come on. That curl was wet.
Yeah.
That curl was wet. When he was right, there's only 2 that had it, Deion Sanders and Pedro.
Wow. Okay. I like that.
Right?
That's a good deal. Hey, you're right.
There wasn't a better curl out there when they were rocking.
Yeah, you're right. They may have to
Prime would get out that helicopter and go play football. He had them shades on before the shades are now famous.
I like that. So I got to ask you, man, speaking of freak athletes, Deion being a freak athlete, doing both. I'm going to ask you this, though, man. Just seeing a guy like Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
In your opinion, how does that work, man? Because I know you, for years, came out and grinded just to be good at what you did. But to see a guy be able to do it at both sides in our generation, what do you think about that?
It is truly, we take it for granted because he's like a unicorn, honest to God. Especially in this day and age when all this information and all this paperwork and all, both sides, right? Pitchers have meetings, it seems like 5 times a day, hitters meetings. He does it with such class, such awesomeness, sweetheart of a person, can run faster than anybody, can hit the ball further than anybody, and can throw 101 and strike out everybody. So that combination, you can't buy. We always talk about the speed and power combination as an offensive player, like Acuna, right? This dude's doing it on the mound, so he's the best player on the mound, he's the best player in the box, and he's the best player, on the bases. If you want him to steal 50, he's got 50.
I like that. So, I know you got some sons, man, that play baseball as well. But I got to ask you this. Can you explain to me, I know they were so young, but they probably weren't even born when you won the World Series. Or were they 1 or 2?
05, they were born. The twins were born, so they're babies, right?
Yeah. So when you're teaching them about baseball and then you go your dad was the man too. How does that work?
That's a great question because I'm the dad's voice, right? I got to take the car away when they don't come late. I got to take the phone. So your dad there. But then I always say, do you want me to be dad or do you want me to be Kevin? Kevin, that's when we start talking about life, right?
Yeah.
I'm a cool dude, but you make me be dad. But when I'm talking hitting, it's funny. It's like they listen to me as dad, kind of like this. But if I have anybody else talk about hitting, they're in, right? But they love the game, and it's I was always a mind guy, like you said. I didn't have a whole lot of ability, so I had to believe that I was a gangster. I had to believe I was a gangster walking that dish. So you create this mindset to hit at this level when you're facing dudes like Clemens, 7-time Cy Youngs. I'm an undrafted dude. I can't run, field, hit, or throw in the scout's eye. So I had to create an attitude walking the plate. And a lot of that was whether I had to rub some icy hot somewhere to make me mad, but you had to get angry, right? So when I start talking hit, I'm like, you got to be a dog out there, kind of like when Primetime's talking. This is personal for a second, right? The mechanic side, I don't even know how to speak the mechanic side. It's weird. So I love talking to the coaches and what are you guys teaching? Oh, there's a spine, or Barry Bonds used to act like you were in the doorway, like you don't want any movement, you want your head still. So I'm still learning how to coach it and teach it. But as a dad raising 2 boys, I'm trying to get him to be a dog.
I like that. I like that. A few more questions, man. So, you know, how the pitchers, baseball today is a little different. Guys are able to market themselves and do different things. But let's just say we go back. And you know how the pitchers have all the cool walk-up songs.
Yeah.
They shut the lights off, all that stuff. Let's say we get young Kevin Millar to have his own walk-up song. It is named after you. You can pick any artist that allowed to do your walk-up song. And they do it live at Fenway. Who does your song?
Wow. I'm gonna go. It might sound weird. I mean, if I'm gonna go hip hop, I would have to have Dre. Right? Just I love the beat. Grew up in the West Side. He was my dude. Him and Snoop and all the guys in the West Side. Something to do with that kind of beat, Dre. But nothing but a G thing. I mean, it's hard not to like that. I've liked that in my life, and after watching Barry Bonds, right? But if I was to pick one, Simple Man. With Leonard Skinner saying the original Simple Man. There's a version the group's called Shine Down.
Okay, Shine Down, yeah.
And this dude's voice with that song, Simple Man, Shine Down version, that's what I come to play with at the right spot.
Like that. Like
simple, just kind of, yeah.
I like that. I like that. All right, 2 more questions then. If you did a starting rotation of the 5 toughest pitchers that you face, who would be the 5?
Randy Johnson to start off. Went 4 for 4 day 1, and he struck me out the rest of the time. But I said, "Yo, Randy." I said, "No. I think I started ended up 4 for 50, and he struck me out like 50 times."
Okay,
Randy Johnson.
Okay.
Gangster. Roy Halladay.
Rest in peace, Doc Holliday.
Rest in peace, Doc Holliday. Gangster. I mean, face Pedro.
Okay, you got to put Pedro on there.
Pedro's gangster.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, big game wise, Kurt Schilling was a headache.
Okay.
Schill was a headache because he had 98 with that little life.
Okay.
In his prime, Josh Beckett.
Ooh.
Josh Beckett. When he was coming out of the young blood throwing 100, he had this, but he had this 92 mile. And you remember, Yankees, 2003, Game 6, 23-year-old kid went in on 3 days rest. We'll never see that, 3 days rest, and threw a shut. Beat the Yankees with that lineup, by the way. That was an OG lineup, and beat the Yankees in Game 6 with the Marlins as a 23-year-old kid on 3 days rest, complete game. He had nasty 92 changeup, 98 fastball, big curveball.
Okay, all right, perfect. Last question, man. So let's see if we're going to have some fun with this. So obviously you had the rivalry with the Yankees. We know about that. But in perspective, just looking back at it now, you're a part of history. That rare history of doing something that no other team can say that they even done in that sort of like time frame or anything. How is it to every day be able to, maybe walk the streets of Boston, go through, and people know Kevin Millar and what you were a part of?
It's really cool. It really is, because I wasn't a great player. I was on a great team. And that city, obviously 86 years to win that first championship. They've won 4 since then. The Yankees have won 1 in 09. But they weren't sharing. Okay, y'all were 27 rings to our 0. So they said rivalry. I was like, that wasn't a rivalry. That was a butt whipping, right?
Yeah.
That first World Series, to have that forever, it is truly awesome. I always said it was weird because you played the season, you were Aerosmith. And then you went home to Beaumont, Texas, barbecued with your buddies. You were just a normal dude. But in that city, that was a big moment for everybody involved. And to this day, me, clubhouse, grounds crew, fans, grandfathers, it's been awesome.
Man. Well, everybody, this is the man right here. I want y'all to be sure y'all watching my guy on TV. He is doing something special. He is a special person, man. He is one of the best, Kevin, man. I appreciate the time.
You're the best, baby.
Thank you.
You know that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.